Hey y'all, I hope you're doing great, and we are going to have so much fun today making this delicious recipe. I never have had a lot of bread pudding, but we went to Miss Kay's Bakery in Monroe, West Monroe, and she had some bread pudding in her bakery case. And so I thought, I'm just going to try it. In fact, her granddaughter, who runs the bakery and is the chef there, told me, you need to try this bread pudding. Well, I just recently saw the movie about their life, and I was so touched. And I thought, what can I do to honor Miss Kay? Well, I'll make one of her recipes, bread pudding. So here we go, y'all. The first thing we're going to do is to beat up 3 eggs. So I'm just going to pour them in my bowl and beat them up. And then make sure that they're nicely incorporated. Can you see? And then I'm going to beat in 2 cups of sugar slowly, just to make sure that they're all incorporated. I want to thank y'all for following me, and I just appreciate it so much. Thank you for subscribing on YouTube and liking our post and sharing. It's just been so much fun, and I am grateful. So, today, this month, we're celebrating pecans. So I'm changing this recipe up just a little bit because I want to add some pecans. I'm going to be at the Pecan Festival in Colfax, November 3rd. So y'all come see me. We're going to have so much fun. So now this is nicely incorporated. Let's see. There you go. You can see that now. And so we're going to get a half a teaspoon of salt and add it. Now, bread pudding takes a minute, but be patient because it feeds so many people and it's just delicious. People just love it. So I'm going to beat in my half a teaspoon of salt, and then I'm going to beat in a half a stick of butter, which is 4 tablespoons that we've melted. So get that all nicely incorporated. I'll put that behind me. And then we're going to add a quart of whole milk. Now, I think it's important to get this done well, like really do beat this up so that it's all incorporated really well. And then you want to add your milk slowly. And this is going to make the custard for the bread pudding. And you can see right beside me here, I have the bread torn up in a baking dish. And we're going to have to let this sit for about 45 minutes so that the bread will absorb the custard before we bake it. So whenever you get a bite of it, it'll just be all the way through the bread. It'll be so delicious. Now, I think you could probably do these steps and put it in the fridge covered overnight. But I never have tried that, so if you do it, let me know if it works, because I think it would be nice to have this much of it done. I love their show, always have, and I think it's because, I live in Tennessee now, and I used to love to hear them talk because it made me think home. And just some of the local sayings, they're just the same, and so I always just love that. But the movie about their life go see it. You're going to love it like I did. So we're going to incorporate this as a quart of whole milk. And then you can see we have some French bread that we've torn up. And this is about 8 ounces of bread, which, sometimes bakeries make bread that's really, really long, but you want to make sure that it's about enough for this size pan. So this is how we're going to do it a little bit different, y'all. We are going to add some chopped pecans. Now, everybody in Louisiana loves pecans. Everybody everywhere should love pecans. They come out lately with just how healthy they are for you. And it is now, thanks to Representative Harris, the official nut of Louisiana. So thank you for making sure that passed. And I think it'll add just a really nice little crunch. So now we will pour the custard as evenly as you can get it to pour. It'll settle out, but it's just easier if you kind of pour it to begin with. I poured a little bit on my foot. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so here we go. Here's the custard over our bread. And you know, French bread is thick, so it takes it a minute to soak. And that's why in the directions, this is her Granny's. It's named in her book, Granny's Bread Pudding with Rum Sauce. And we're going to make the sauce when we come back. But here's the way the pudding looks. And you'll see it's really liquidy right now. And we're going to let it sit for 45 minutes. And I'll show you how the liquid has been absorbed by the bread. And it will be yummy. So see y'all in about 45 minutes. Hey y'all, it's about time for us to put our custard and bread in the oven, but I thought I'd show you how to make this rum sauce before we put the bread pudding in the oven to bake, and it can just sit here after we do it. It'll be just fine. So you melt a stick and a half of butter. That's 12 tablespoons, and then let it cool a little bit. Now, I melted it in my saucepan just honestly to make it easy. And then we're going to add a cup and a half of sugar, and we're going to stir that together really well. Now this is all off heat, and it calls for the yolk of 1 egg, so I'm assuming that it should go in now. So we're going to add that and beat it in really well. And now remember, everything in the bowl is not hot, it's cool. Whoops, there you go, sorry. All right, looks good already, doesn't it? It's very thick. And then we're going to add a can of condensed milk. So here we go. We're going to stir that in. Now, I do not have the heat on yet. So let's stir that in. It's so thick and yummy, isn't it? Let's help it a little bit. You know, condensed milk, it can make anything taste good, can't it? Now, I don't have any rum, and I don't have any rum flavoring. If you don't want to use rum, if you don't buy rum, you can use the rum flavoring. And, you know, a lot of people really love it. We would prefer just plain vanilla flavoring. So after I cook this, I'm going to add a couple of teaspoons of vanilla. So we're going to incorporate it really well. I'm telling y'all, the custard has really incorporated in the bread so well, so it's going to be yummy. And I'm going to stir this together really well. My sister, my oldest sister, used to love to lick the can like she could a spoon and lick all the rest of it out of the can. And this is pretty thick, y'all. So you want it to be nice and thick because you serve it over your bread pudding, but it's kind of nice that it's already thick, but it does need to cook down. So I'm going to start cooking it down and then add my vanilla, and then I'll put my pudding in the custard and bread in the oven, let it cook, and then we'll be back and I'll show you how delicious this bread pudding is going to be. Hey everybody, so we have cooked this beautiful bread pudding and made our sauce. And the one thing I was going to tell you, I didn't read the next page. So you're actually supposed to whip in the egg yolk after you have let it cook on the stove for a little bit. Stir, 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 stir. And then you add your vanilla, and if you're going to add any rum seasoning. But here is this beautiful banana pudding. I'm keeping it right here. Okay. Look how beautiful it is. I'm telling you, I see now why everybody there loves her banana pudding so much. And the best thing is, this is her Granny's recipe. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the end to taste it and tell y'all how delicious it is. And then, let me see. So here's our sauce. I added some pecans, which I told y'all I was going to do. And then you just drizzle. You can make it really pretty if you want to. And then we will taste. So here it is, y'all. Miss Kay's Granny's bread pudding. I think I said banana pudding. I mean bread pudding. It's just like I remembered it, y'all. So incredibly delicious. You are going to just love it. So bon appetit, y'all. Thank you, Miss Kay and Phil, for everything that you have done for everyone sharing your story. Bon appetit. You tell them bon appetit? Let's say bon appetit. That's bon appetit in duck language.